All right, financial math classes. Today we're continuing on with our lessons dealing with interest. So last time we did simple interest, now we're doing compound interest. So what compound interest is, so interest that you earn in a savings account during an interest period is added to your account. So that's what we calculated last time, calculating the interest and adding it to the account. Your new balance is used for calculating the interest for the next interest period, the interest period after that, and so on. So every time interest gets calculated, it gets added into your account, and then that new account balance gets used again for the calculation. This is called compound interest. Compound interest earns interest not only on the original principal, but also on the interest earned during previous interest periods, earning interest on interest. So that's where the compounding is, interest on interest. This is how savings account works. This is how like loans and other things work. It's all the interest is compounded. All right, so this how the book has you calculate the compound interest is it has you make a table and then just use that simple interest formula that we learned last time, and then keep compounding the interest. So it's this recursive formula, keep going down to calculate every time. That can be very tedious. It could take a long time, especially if you're compounding, 6, 7 times per problem. So what I'm actually going to show you is a formula that does the compounding for you. All right, so this formula is the compound interest formula, and this is what we'll be using. So A is the account balance. So what this formula tells you is how much money is going to be in the account after the compounding interest period. P is the principal, just like in the simple interest formula. R is the rate, just like in the simple interest formula. Here's the new part. N is the number of times it's compounded per year. All right, so that is how many times the interest is calculated per year. T is time in years. So just like last time, if you're dealing with a timeline, a time frame that's less than a year, that's going to be some sort of fraction. So here we're going to deposit $1,000, so that's our principal. The rate is 6%. Don't forget to change it to a decimal, so that's 0.06. Number of times it's compounded per year is 12. Excuse me, no. Quarterly. Thinking ahead to a different problem. This is compounded quarterly, so that means it's 4 times per year. And then time in years, we are just at the end of 1 year. We're just calculating 1 year. So our account, the principal was 1,000. Get 1 plus the rate is 0.06. The N was 4. And then how many times is it compounded? It is compounded 4 times, and we're calculating it for 1 year. All right. I'm going to put this all in the calculator. So let's bring up a calculator for us to use. So the original was 1,000 times, make sure you include parentheses. You do 1 plus the rate, so 0.0, I already forget what the rate was. It was 0.06, excuse me, 0.06 divided by 4. This is the number of times it's compounded. To make an exponent on this calculator, it says X to the Y button. If you have more than one value, why is this? There we go. If you have more than one value, if you're multiplying something in there, you need to put parentheses around the whole exponent. All right. So if you don't include those parentheses, you do 4 times 1, it brings the times down low, and that's going to give you something different. So make sure you're including the parentheses around the exponent. Comes out to $1,061.36. So let's go back to our slide. $1,061.36. The second part of this, how much is the compound interest? So just to calculate the compound interest, it is just how much more you have than the principal investment. So 1,636. If you just subtract that principal from it, that difference gives you the amount of compound interest you earn, 6136. So here, let's look at an example of what to do if your time is not a full year. So it's not a year or 2 years, we're doing a fraction of a year. So let's look at here, we have Mariel and Sam. They have a savings account, they deposit, or they have a balance of 9,544 on May 1st. The account earns 5.25% interest, so that's 0.0525. It's compounded monthly. So monthly, there are 12 months in a year, so that's going to be 12 times per year. And then the time frame. So they deposited on May 1st. So it's going to get deposited, and we're going to the end of August. So it's going to be compounded in June, July, August, then one more time. It's going to be 4 times. Compounded. This isn't very clear how this is worded. So I'm going to say it's 4 times out of 12. So 4 months out of 12. So remember, T is time in years. So we're doing 4 out of 12 months. So we put this into the formula. So again, it's the principal times 1 plus the rate divided by how many times it's compounded. And then it's going to be number of times compounded times year. So 9,544 times 1 plus 0.0525 over 12 to the 12 times 4 over 12 power. And I'm actually going to simplify this a little bit before I enter it into the calculator, just to make things a little bit easier. 1 plus 0.0525 divided by 12. 12 times 4/12 is just 4. So put all that into the calculator. 9,544 times 1 plus 0.0525 divided by 12 to the 4th power comes out to 9712.119. So 971212. $97.12. So what is the compound interest? So if we look at here, this is asking us the compound interest. So this is new compound. So the answer to this question here, what's the compound interest, is not actually 97.12.12. It's going to be A. And the way we find that is we do the our new account balance, 97.12.12, minus the principal, 95, and so you get 168.12. And I know there's a little typo in there. It says 1.2. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, make sure you email me, and we'll see you next time.